Alright guys, Gemini, back with another video, and today we're going to be discussing Rowdy Piper's greatest hits, 1984 Coliseum video. So, we'll get to it here in just a second. Let me take some pictures of this tape and show you guys the insides and the outsides of it, and then we'll get into the meat of this. You're going to love this, Daddy. Okay, so if you're sitting at home right now and you're watching this video, if you're anything like me, which I think a lot of people are, because you wouldn't be watching this unless you were a sicko collector. Nobody else is watching it but sicko collectors. But anyways, point being, if you're sitting at home watching this, you're like, holy shit, I gotta get that, I gotta get that, I gotta get that. And I don't blame you, because I had to get it myself to just own heel early 80s Rowdy Piper footage. Straight up, man. There wasn't a nastier, dirtier heel in pro wrestling in the early 80s than Roddy Piper. He literally would start riots in the building because he was such a dickhead. When they did a War to Settle the Score, the big MTV thing promoting WrestleMania 1 back in '85, you know, he scared Dick Clark. You know, he kicked Cyndi Lauper down. He smashed a picture over Captain Lou Albano's head. I mean, what did he do? He kicked David Wolf. I mean, basically, Piper spit in the face of an entire pop culture generation in 1985 by running wild on MTV. Music to Vomit by. Wow. And everybody just loved the Hulk so much and hated Piper so much. And when they finally rolled into the first WrestleMania 1 in '85, everybody sold that building out at Madison Square Garden just because they wanted to see Piper get his ass kicked by Hogan. Let's remember, WrestleMania 1 doesn't do nearly the buy rate, and it's not nearly as successful if there's not such a hated heel like Piper. Piper was so instrumental in WrestleMania 1 being successful because he was the definition of a true heel. And I know Stevie Breach made this video, wanted to give my own spin on it. Piper on this tape, the reason why you would want to acquire this is because all the rare house show 80s Madison Square Garden footage that this tape has on it. It's something that literally you can watch and still learn something from. Yeah, you can watch the matches on YouTube and blah, blah, blah. But until you go back and you actually see this Coliseum video, you're kind of missing out on what Piper was really all about in the early 80s. It's Rowdy at his arrogant best, exclusive, never seen before. Rowdy Piper interviews, Piper vs. Hogan, Piper's pit with Andre the Giant, you know, when he grabs him up, Mr. T and more, plus Roddy in some of his greatest matches ever. Tag team bouts, Roddy and Dr. D, David Schultz. If you remember David Schultz, he was the guy who grabbed John Stossel and slapped him around from 2020, whatever that ABC show was back in the day. Rowdy and Cowboy Bob Orton versus Snuka and the Tonga Kid. Mean Gene Okerlund interviews Rowdy and Paul Orndorff and gets his. Yeah, him and Paul Orndorff were tight. There's no doubt about it. Piper and Orton visit the doctor. That's actually a really funny skit from TNT where, you know, Cowboy Bob Orton has the cast on his wrist and the doctor's telling him it's fine, and Piper's like, "You're a quack! You're a quack!" Piper is a gracious guest on TNT, and he talks about, yeah, I'd hit a woman, yeah, I'd hit a woman. And Piper's pit featuring interviews, and Mr. T, Andre the Giant, others see the event that led to WrestleMania. Honestly, guys, 90 minutes of magic, and you're going to get a whole different idea of really what Rowdy was and what Rowdy Piper was. I mean, the DVD, whatever, is with this family. I mean, we're talking the early 80s here with Cowboy Bob Orton and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. I mean, he didn't go up to him. I mean, these were bad boys, and he was the baddest of them all. Gemini, thank you for watching.